am Batman. Get it? Get it? Because there's a bat? Hey, get out of here! Oh. Hello, guys and girls. Chokester here, bringing you another episode of Direwolf20 Pack. We are up to episode 28. Yay! Hi, Bat. Hi. He likes me. He's my friend. Okay, so we have 47 heads. This guy has been running non-stop now, and we had some power problems. We had quite a bit of power problems. We were out of canola. This whole thing was drained. Everything was dead in the base, and I came back here, and all the canola was gone, and it was not good. So what have I done? I went up here. That measly 300 RF per tick wasn't keeping up, so I made this whole thing canola. Whole thing was canola. I even bumped up my speed here, so it runs a lot more. Of course, that's a balancing act, but the ender lilies are fine here. It still continues to harvest those, bring them in. I've also made a 160 RF per tick photovoltaic cell, and so that guy is helping contribute to the base. And you can see it's currently in refill, and it's dark. So if we were to sleep real quick, and there's a bauble that actually allows you to sleep quicker. Oh, it's so nice to have. So nice. I found it in my Sky Factory world. That's really nice. It goes nice and quick. Anyway, you can see we're almost at 1,000, and depending on where the sun is, it peaks up to 1,000 inputs. So that helps. That helps. And now we're keeping up. We're full on canola. So that's really nice. Now, there is still some question on the enchanting, right? And so what I have done is I have prepared a little example. I have 75 levels in my inventory. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that in there and use this up. Okay, so you notice 75 levels in my inventory. This costs 25. So if I were to take this and do that again, and I think you can tell what's going to happen, I am out of levels. All gone. No more. However, if I were to just take 25, it takes 25 levels. So 25 at a time, and I do this one at a time. Okay. So then I take another 25, oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I do this again, and then I take 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I do this one last time. Instead of wasting it all, I was completely out the first way I did it, I now have 69 levels left in here. It doesn't get any clearer than that, guys. It's definitely a good thing to just use the amount of levels that you need. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps explain it much better. Okay, guys, the next thing is I want to do some fun stuff. I have, where is it? All right, so I made some of these wireless powered lights. Pretty cool. And a redstone receiver and transmitter. I decided not to use that. I've already got it wired up. It's all fine. Fine and dandy. Oh, the other thing I'm going to need is this, so we can actually see. So let's go down here, turn on night vision. Okay, remember we have our conduit right here. Okay, so what I can do is I can just put this in, and that is a wireless light, and that would light up the room. And then when I turn it off, oh, wait. That's backwards. Spawner on, light on? No, we want it backwards. We want it inverted, I should say. So all we have to do is, I think that pulled, hold on. Give me a second. I think that's going to be in there. Yes, it is. And I'm filling up here. I'm going to have to do something about that. No worries. We'll keep that back on. So the way you do that is redstone torch. You can invert this. Invert this wireless powered light. Oops, right there. And then it acts inverted. And so what I also had to do, I didn't show that, is I had to put in a wireless charger down here. So that wireless charger, it was too far for my base. So let's say we want to put this on here. There. Now it is getting, so what's happening is it's getting power from the wireless here. I could also get the wired one and wire it in here and stuff, but this is nice and easy. And then of course, the redstone is connecting to this, and all I have to do is flip the lights off, and the spawner goes on. Pretty cool, huh? I thought that was really neat. Really neat. So we'll let that guy run. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I've been cooking up some graphite. Look at that. I have graphite bars. Let's see if there's more in here. Yeah, there's a few more left because I had filled up. And I pretty much did everything. And actually, you know what? I want to leave them all in here. And that is because we're going to do something. Now, what I have been doing is, you notice I have yellowite 4164. The astute of you should know what's coming next. You should know what's coming next. Let me go over here to the deep dark and let me show you what I have done. So this is my deep dark quarry setup, and it is night vision, please. There we go. Oh, how fun. Get down here. So this is a nice big open area that I have quarried out. Look how big that is. Tons and tons and tons of resources. Remember, this is double the density of the overworld. So I have been mining, and you can see I've even gone in here and selectively cherry picked some more yellorium and the what do you call it, the uranium. All right, hold on, let me find where I am. Oh no, right there. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we have this guy cranking along, and it's stopped now. It's already done. All right, so that you can see in here. Yes, there we go. Stop. All right, it's already done, and it's got, this is what I have left through all the sorting. I was bringing back through an ender chest. I think I've shown you this all before, at least the latest iteration. It's constantly, oh, I put soulbound on this. This has soulbound now. This has soulbound, and this has soulbound. I found a bunch more. Remember that automated, my automated enchanter right across from me, right, wait for it, right there, right? So I looked in this chest here, and there was a whole bunch, oh, nope, get that off my hotbar. Yes, no, there we go. Okay, yeah, I looked in here and there's more soulbound in here. So I was very happy to see that. Okay, so we want to get a reactor. We want to get a reactor, and that is, if we go to extreme reactors, this is the old big reactor mod, and so what we're going to need is some basics, okay? We're going to need a fuel rod with a fuel. Hold on, gotta find Tesla turbine tap. Come on now, help me out right there. The reactor control rod goes on top with fuel rods. Okay, those two are a pair. Then we're going to need a whole bunch of casing, not the steel box, these casing around the outside. We're probably going to leverage some glass so we can see inside of it. That'll look nice and pretty. And we're going to need the controller. We're going to need the RF tap. Now there is a Tesla tap, right there, the Tesla tap, and then there's the RF tap. So we'll probably want to use the RF tap since many of our devices are Redstone, Tesla aware, but we'll want to leverage RF for now, right? Until all the mods kind of switch over. And then there's the access ports and so on. First thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to leverage this turbine housing. All right, so we're going to need, reactor casing, not turbine, reactor casing, and that needs these, and we're going to need a whole rash of these. So let's grab like 16 of them for right now, and this is going to be used a little bit more. I'm bringing them down here on purpose so you can see them. So a turbine reactor. Okay, see how this makes 4? So that should make us a full stack. Let's throw those back in there and do this again. There we go. So that gives us a full stack, and we're going to have a whole bunch of graphite bars that it's using. So we're going to kind of monitor this. Remember, this was 512, so now we're down to 412. That used 100 of them. So we have the reactor casing. Now we're also going to need, remember those the reactor control port? So let's just do one for right now. We're going to do one, and we're going to do one of these because we're going to start baby steps. We're going to start baby steps, and then we're going to need some glass. And frankly, I don't remember how much we need, but we're going to have to throw that back in just because it needs some of those. We're not going to make too many of these, but maybe I think I'm going to just need 2. Yeah, I think I just need 2, maybe even 1. But that's fine. If we have extra, we will use it. I promise you, because we're going to leverage those. So we're going to need 2 of these. In the current iteration, I'm only going to need 1. We need these guys. Okay, let's get to work. Let's get to work building. So I've made this little room back here. You might have seen it. And it's going to be nice and big for what we want to do. But the first stage is we're going to be real small, and we're going to kind of maybe tap in right here. So what I want to do is maybe do a 3x3. And so all we need to do is, boy, the lag in here is real. The lag is real. Let's get rid of that. So we want to do just a 3x3. This is a very simple multi-block structure. Actually, let's do this, because we are going to be filling out the ins and outs and wheres and why-fors and whatnots. Okay, the first thing is in the front here, we're going to put the, well, in the middle we're going to put that, but we're also going to need the excess ports. So let's put the excess ports on the side. All right. So we're just going to use one for right now. On this side, we're going to put the power tap. All right, so that's the reactor redstone flux power tap. And then we're going to want to power that up, but not quite yet, not quite yet. So then we're going to need to do the reactor fuel rod in here. Okay, it does put out light, and on top of that, we're going to need that. And then, just for pretty sake, now I could fill this out with all kinds of other things, but I'm going to do a little bit of glass. Yeah, that's good. Now, it hasn't formed yet because I have to go get one more thing. So if we go look over here, we need a reactor. All right. We want the controller. Where is the controller? So, controller. There we go. And right there. That's the one we want. And let's go ahead and grab that. That guy will go in front. Okay, and then, so the corners have to all be this reactor casing. That's just given. You cannot put, well, let me show you. You cannot put glass in here, so it won't form. So break that. Then we will put a casing in here, and boom, it forms the multi-block. And this has a GUI here. So nice and cool, or nice and neat. Awesome. Not cool, because that's contrary to what we're talking about here. Because watch, let's just grab 2 stacks. We're so not going to need this right now, but we'll go ahead and we go over to our reactor port here. Let's get this out of our way, and we will. So the way this the way this is set up is this is input, this is output. All right. So you can dedicate. Let's say I want this just to be output, or I want it to just be input. We don't want that. We want neither. We want it to be both for right now because we only have one. All right. So now you see I put a whole stack in there. It has pulled 4 in, and we will see that represented right here. Now this interface might look a little confusing. It's very simple. This is your degree of your reactor. Right. This is how much RF per tick it generates. This is how much fuel it's using, and here's your efficiency, or what we call reactivity. All right, or you know, the higher this is, the more it is. Well, like it says here, irradiated, but the more it's going to be creating fuel RF per unit. All right, so all we have to do is just to turn this on. We just hit this, and it turns on, and it starts generating power. There we go. That's 250, 260. 264 RF, 262 RF per tick with a moderate amount of casing heat, right? So this is the fuel level. This is the internal buffer of 10 million RF, and it's just slowly building it up off of yellowite, right? It's using 218 millibuckets per tick, and there you go. We have the fuel being used, and it is now replacing it with the this right here, and I don't think I can shoot it out yet. We don't have a full bar yet, but this is the waste product, and so we'll have to do something. That's why we would have multiple ports. All right, so that's pretty cool. So I have 252 RF per tick. That's in addition. That's so easy with the resources that we have that let's do a couple. It's nice and simple to be able to augment our power with. You know, our what do you call it? The power cells, right? Or the solar cells. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. And now that will be feeding into our energy system. And if we go out here, it probably doesn't even. It isn't allowed in yet. Not quite yet. But as soon as it will, now we're going to have the 800 from this, and the 60 odd from outside from the immersive engineering, and then the 260 that will be coming from the reactor. So it's that simple. Now all we have to do is just get some item conduits over here and pump it into here, or we could put that on top. Right? Now the other thing is that if we wanted to throttle this back down, that's what this interface is for. This is how much the throttling rod is inserted. It's called control rod, but think of it as how much it throttles. So if I drop the control rod down in there, it throttles it. So at 40% throttling, therefore it's down to 140. Now there's ways to automate this. There's computer controlled, there's open computers, and computer craft ways of controlling this. But you can go all the way down here and you can effectively turn it all the way off. So that is one way of shutting down your reactor. It's, you don't have to. You can also do redstone control, which is probably what we're going to do. But we'll run it full bore right now. We'll let this internal build up. We have a lot of RF. You notice that clearly we are contributing now because that has kicked on. So let's go take a look. Look at that. Look at that. Now we are also dumping our buffers, right, from the capacitor outside. So that's not quite a true number on how much the input is, but you get the point, right? That really augments, but that's not good enough. We want to go bigger. We want to go bigger. Yeah. So let's go ahead and shut this down. And let's dump this. Dump as much that was in there, right? So we're still at, it used roughly 4. There's some waste in there. There we go. That's what I wanted right there. So it used 1. It used 1 ingot, which there's probably still some in there. Yeah. And you got almost a full bar for the of the waste. And so let's and then it has a little bit left of the regular. All right, so let me tear this down. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, welcome back. We are going to do a 5x5 by 3. Okay, that's what we're going to do. And this is the next. I'm going for efficient here, right? Not big power. We don't need big power quite yet. Oops, that one is a little off, and there. Okay. So while we're in here, let's go ahead and place down our reactor fuel rods. What I want this to be is all around the outside, not there. There we go. And oh no, I'm painting myself into a corner. And then we will put the control rods right on top. There we go. Okay, so there we have, over here, we have our power tap. That's, kind of ugly in this room, but that's fine. It's not its final state. We just want to do that. Since we also have ins and out over here, we could keep it like this. We could put both of these guys. We'll have this one. Remember, green is in, blue is out. So we'll set that up that way. We're going to need a controller, which is right here. And then the rest of it just needs to be whatever we want. It can be casing. It can be glass. I want glass. I like to see inside. There we go. And last thing is right here on top. That's it. That is it. Let's see how much this makes. Oh, we got to throw power in. Got to throw our fuel in. So let's throw our fuel in. Awesome. And fire it up. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Big power. 2,000 RF per tick. Very, very cool. But we can do better. With this same design, we can do better. Notice the 0.52 millibuckets. Okay? Remember that number at 2,000 RF. 0.52. That's the number we're going to remember. So we want to use a coolant. So the coolant, I have come up with 2 of them. One of them is a graphite block. That's not bad. So we'll, right. Yes, can I get in there? There we go. Okay. I am having all kinds of trouble. There we go. All right, so we now have a graphite block. And the graphite block is pretty simple. So graphite block, in case you were wondering, it's just the graphite bars that we made up by cooking coal, remember? Cooking coal or charcoal. And so very simple to make. And we'll fire this guy up. And so now, remember, we're at 2,000 and 0.52. Now we're at 2.2 and 0.48. So we're more efficient. Remember, this is our efficiency. How many millibuckets per RF tick that we're doing. So we are more efficient and generating more power. Very cool, but we can do better. We can do better. Let's turn that off. Now this version is, we don't have any of the new fluids that Ender IO has introduced. They've worked with the Extreme Reactors team and are creating our old standby Ender liquids, right? So all we have is, they've even added stuff for like cloud seed, rocket fuel, and also vapor of levity, so some of the liquid sunshine and hooch and so on. Dew of the void. They've added some really cool stuff. In terms of supporting liquids, and it really helps out quite a bit, or gives you more options. Okay, so let's see what this is. Remember, 2.2 and 0.45. So now we are, ooh, look at this, almost 3, 2.27, 0.475, so it's a slight bit better. So that's about all we're going to be able to get out of this in this version right now until we get a newer version of Extreme Reactors and Ender.io. So that's pretty neat. I am now generating 2200 RF. This setup here, 800. This setup here, 2200. Yeah, it takes up more space, but oh yeah, we're moving on. We're moving on. I'm hoping to get rid of this, the farm up there, reduce some of this lag. As I mentioned last episode, this here, this down at the bottom, it's called, it's from the Sampler mod. Sampler is made by Algorithm X and Player. Player is who makes IC2. I think Algorithm X is part of it, but primarily Player, for, part of IC2. So this shows lag spikes. That's what that means. It's an inverse FPS chart. So at the bottom white line is 60 frames a second. The middle one I think is 45, and the top one is 15 maybe. I don't remember exactly what the bars are, but ultimately what that means is that we're getting huge lag spikes. We're microstudders is what that's called, and I'm getting them from somewhere. So I want to try to change our power to more of a what do you call it? Solid state, if you will. Missed a block. So that's our first step. Now I made this big room here. You know what that means. That means we're going to go big. Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll do that at a later date. This is good for now. This is very good for now. And we'll work on, get rid of this, work on piping more Yellorium in here, right? It's pretty simple since our conduits are right here. And that's why I've designed this base. I've designed it to be very, very, flat network, I guess you will. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, we are out of time. Let's stand over here on our little reactor. Let's do our sign-off dance. Do a little dance. Do. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I love big reactors. I hope you gained a little bit of insight. If you haven't seen this before, there you go. I didn't go into a ton. If you have any questions, ask me questions. I can go over it again. I just assume that by now most everybody knows what big reactors is. Just kind of showing you some of the designs I've chosen. Every single time it's slightly different, and it's fun. It's fun. All right, guys. Well, if you liked it, leave a like. If you're new to this channel, subscribe, and you can enjoy the good content. Until then, see you in the next episode. All right, bye.